What's up, folks? David Soto Jr. here, and this is the David Soto Jr. podcast. What's up, folks? Welcome to episode 28 of the David Soto Jr. podcast. I am your host, David Soto Jr., and today I want to talk about why I think racism will never go away. It will never go away. This is my opinion. Feel free to disagree with me. And of course, I could be wrong. But hey, I don't think that racism has ever gotten any better. We had some change in policy, right? We had some rights given to black people, people of different colors, with people, non-whites was probably the best way to say this. And so laws have passed and policy has changed in order to give rights to people who didn't have them before, people who were not white. But I don't think that the hatred and the judging of people based on the color of their skin ever went away. So we can have a civil war and the North can win. That's not going to change the South's mind. Right? You can say you have to let black people into your coffee shop. It can be the law, or you go to jail. That's not going to change that person's mind. That person is going to conform with the law, but they're not going to change how they feel towards people of color. And I just don't think that any of that has changed. I think it's been subdued, right? I think that because of consequences that were instated, there appeared to be less racism. People were quiet about it. People weren't obviously blatant about how they felt about people of color. The reason I say this is because being Mexican American, being brown, essentially has put me in the middle, right? So white, black, brown is in the middle, all right? And so to some people in my life, their opinion is that, well, you're not black, so I'm going to go ahead and be racist towards black people around you. And this is not something I'm making up. This is something I witnessed over and over and over again, time and time and time in my life. It goes far as back as I was teaching heating and air and went to work at a small town heating and air shop on my days off. And the funny thing was the guy I was riding around with figured out that I was not black, and so he let the black racist shit go. And I didn't know what to say. The funny part is that the secretary of the shop thought I was black, and so she was like, "Oh, I can't believe he's saying those things in front of you." More recently, President Obama's election. I cannot believe the things that I witnessed when this man was elected office. People played the "Moving On Up," the Jeffersons theme song. People thought there was going to be a race war. People said the most offensive things because a black man was elected president of the United States. And again, I'm saying I don't think it ever went away. I think it was always there, but there were consequences, and so people kept their mouth shut. They didn't say all the things that they were thinking, right? And this is why people love Donald Trump, because he says whatever he says, what everyone's thinking. I don't know if that makes it good or bad because they're racist and misogynist. Like, and the fact that people say he's saying things that everyone else is thinking, lets should let us know that these people have been thinking these things all the time, the whole time. It didn't go away. Right? Now, with a racist as the president of the United States, racism isn't getting worse. Racism isn't getting worse. Now we have a racist as the president of the United States. Our leader is a misogynist and a racist. And so the perception is that there is less consequences. And so people are coming out and they're feeling safe to call people the N-word, to call the police on people just because they're black in their neighborhood or they're black and they're somewhere that they don't want to be. People feel safe doing these things because they've always thought it, and now there's a man in a leadership position, the number one leadership position, who's essentially giving permission for these people to come out of the woodwork and say the things that they want to say. Now, I don't think that that racism is just a thing in the United States, although it's very prevalent because of what's going on and just in the news itself today. But I think it exists throughout the entire world, right? And it's not racism, as I learned, is a bad term to use, but it's basically skin color. It's skin color, and people look down on other people who are darker than them. And this is not something I'm making up. This is something I've witnessed, okay? Number one, first example, I went to Mexico several years ago to stay and kind of got involved with a couple. She sent me out to work on this guy's this guy's boat, and just in casual conversation with this guy that I was talking to, he wasn't a bad guy. He was a veteran. He was super nice. But something he said really made me think. And he's like, "Oh, did you see Miss Mexico last year? Oh, she was beautiful. Blonde hair, green eyes. She didn't even look Mexican." I'm like, that's funny. That's funny that you think she's so beautiful because she does not look Mexican, quote unquote Mexican, which one would assume that he means brown hair, brown eyes, brown skin, Indio features, right? Indian nose, Indian eyes, Indian cheeks, whatever. Those features that are prevalent. Indian nose. I'm pointing to my nose right now. So that was one of the instances where I was like, man, he really thinks that because she's not dark, that she's beautiful. That's kind of fucked up. That's what my thoughts were. But then I thought back to when I was in Iraq. And I was in Iraq, and it's 100 and something degrees. And the Filipinos that worked with me and the Indians that worked with me, they wore coveralls. And they wore coveralls and they cover their face and they wore gloves. And it's 100 and something goddamn degrees. And the reason they were covering their entire body, regardless of how hot it was, is because they didn't want to get darker. Because they were looked down upon. The darker they got, the more they were looked down upon. And an example of this that I witnessed was when I was in the barbershop in where was I at? Camp Striker. Was that it? Getting my hair cut by some Indian cats. They're cutting my hair, doing a good job. And I said, man, it's hot in here. They're like, air conditioning's broken, sir. I'm like, okay, well, no problem. We'll fix this shit right up. Hold on. And I got up out of my barber's chair and I walked over and I yelled at some of my guys. I'm like, come here. And I guess the group of guys that were working with me sent one person instead of all of them. Or maybe I called him. His name was Sundar. I'm like, Sundar, come here. And when I waved him on, I went back and got in my chair. And when he finally came in and looked up, I said, hey, Sundar, fix this air conditioner. And he's like, okay, sir. And he went out. And all those barbers laughed at him. They laughed at him. They talked shit about him. That was the impression, because I didn't speak Hindi, but I'm pretty sure that they were talking shit about him and laughing at him. I don't even think they waited till he left to start talking shit about him, because I could see the look on his face, right? The look on the face when you're being picked on. And the only reason they were picking on him, they had no other reason to judge him. Oh, that was dumb. I have a water bottle I just opened that was in suction. They had no other reason to judge Sundar for anything, because he had just walked in and said, yes, boss. They were judging him because this fool was dark. This fool was darker than, I don't know. He's pretty dark. But he was cool. But I don't understand why those guys were being dicks to him. Except for the fact that he was just so damn dark. So it's worldwide. And when you watch movies like, especially that took place in like Africa and India, that take place in those locations, are located in those places and take place back in, 60, 70, 80, 100 years ago, you really see how people are treated different because of their color of their skin. And it's fucked up. Now, is it ever going to go away? I don't think so. I don't think it's going to go away. And you can put more consequences and reinforce the existing laws and policies, but I don't think that'll make racism go away. I think people are going to be racist. You're not going to change a racist mind. I don't think so. Can you change a racist mind? I don't know. Like in the movies, and the black guy saves the racist guy's life, and then he's like, oh, I changed my mind. I love black people now. I don't know if that's reality, though. I don't know if that really happens in real life. It's fucked up. And essentially it comes down to the fact that we have somebody in a leadership role who people look up to because he's fucking racist. And he says racist shit, ethnically insensitive shit to people of color, people of South America, people of Southwest Asia, people of the Middle East. It's ridiculous. Anyways, folks, I guess I'm cutting this one kind of short. I don't have a lot to do. This has been on my mind. It's something I've been wanting to talk about it, but I don't have a lot to say other than it's just fucked up. I don't have a solution. I don't know what. Maybe you have some answers. Maybe you have a response to me. But the whole let's abolish racism, I don't fucking think it's gonna happen, son. I don't think it's gonna happen. Based on our evidence, based on our history, the world over. I don't think it's going to be abolished. Anyways, folks, you can find me on Twitter at David E. Soto Jr. Jr. for Junior, and Twitter, it's the same, David E. Soto Jr. Website is www.davidsotowrites.com. I need to update that thing. I mean, you can go there and contact me, but find me on Twitter, find me on Instagram, and you can slip into the DM and send me a shout. Let me know what's up. Send me any questions. Send me something you want to talk about on the podcast. I'd appreciate that. Anything else? I don't think so, folks. I think that's it. I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you very much.